The Green Edition, in association with the Root Brands, inspiring greatness with natural solutions for people to reach their highest and healthiest potential.
Hello and welcome back to The Green Edition, where we are talking about the future of health, well-being, and of course business as well. And of course, whilst the Root Brands is the presenting sponsor of today's segment, all of the opinions and views in the following program are of course general in nature. And today my guest wanted to draw our attention to something quite concerning: the silent, the deadly, and apparently all-encompassing threats that impact people, animals, and naturally, the world. CEO and founder of the Root Brands, Clayton is here to explain how these pervasive and silent working assassins are operating in the environment. My friend, thanks for your time. Let's talk about these invisible killers that you've identified.
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's one of the few times where we talk about silent but deadly, and it doesn't include sheets.
I'm glad
so
you
what we're really
that.
talking about what we're really talking about is that which is in the environment that's been put in us since we were conceived, and the silent aspect being these toxic pollutants, whether they're the toxic heavy metals like mercury, cadmium, arsenic, lead, aluminum, cesium, strontium, now graphene. You can include glyphosate, which most people know as Roundup, and you have a massive amount of other environmental chemicals. They could be fire retardants that are in your carpet, that are on your upholstery, and a load of other, they call them PFAs and PFUAs, that we're inhaling, that we're consuming, that we're drinking, and most importantly, that have been put in us from the time we were in the womb. You know, that which is in your mother and that which has been in your grandmother and women before them is in you.
So Clayton, what threat do they pose if they're sort of everywhere?
So it's the crazy part, because if we look at health conditions, right, and you can go from anything from autism to Alzheimer's and everything in between, and the initial literature was really, really well studied and published on this back in the 1950s, and a great paper was published in 1970. Talking about just how mercury toxicity alone is the primary culprit in virtually every chronic degenerative disease. And now you can throw that in with autoimmune disorders. And what you have to understand is, much like making a soup, you have some primary culprits, but when you start mixing these toxins together in your system, they create absolute havoc, and they absolutely will magnify the effects of one another. So if you have a neurotoxin like mercury in your system, which we all do, because as I mentioned, what's in mom is passed into the fetus. So you continually build these up. We're poisoned from the beginning, and this is actually the primary reason that women miscarry, because they are so loaded with pollutants that they actually kill the fetus. And then if you look at women that have miscarried multiple times, they miscarry, then they're able to have a child, which means they clean their body up enough just to carry to term. It doesn't mean that the baby is clean. It means the baby was clean enough to survive. Right. And then the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food you're eating, what you might be injected with going forward continually builds up that body burden.
Absolutely. Clayton, this stuff is quite alarming to say the least. What are you and the team at Root Brands trying to do in order to combat and offset the damage that these invisible killers are doing? Take us through a bit about what you've experienced and how you guys are trying to combat what you've outlined.
You know, it's really simple. It's a lot like having a clean house. And if you've ever watched a show like Hoarders, where you have someone that's just been building up trash in their house continually for years and has never taken out the garbage, right? This is the same premise that we're doing with our bodies. The majority of us have not taken any approaches to truly systemically start to bring in the little green garbage trucks, as you see on TV and as you have come through your neighborhood, you know, a couple times a week, to take out the trash. That with the introduction of Clean Slate, you know, through the creation of Dr. Christina Rahm, the savant that is behind me, she's created a passive, patented, proprietary mechanism that will act like a little green garbage truck to get into your body from head to toes, grab onto a lot of these toxins, help to flush them out, but also assist your body's natural methods of flushing out these toxins, detoxifying your kidneys, your liver, your GI, and allowing your body to start properly to actually begin to become who you're supposed to be.
Clayton, I want to thank you for joining us on the program. As always, bringing some insight to this space. It's curious times ahead, but my friend, thank you so much for your time as always.
Thanks, Brad.
Good stuff from you. And of course, thank you for joining us here on The Green Edition. And remember to stay healthy, my friends. Do some research, check out what's going on with yourself. And yeah, stay healthy. I'll see you again very soon. Be well.